First, border security concerns are even higher following the explosion at the U.S.-Canada border crossing. Officials are still probing the cause of the vehicle blast that left the two people inside dead. Officials say the vehicle was a Bentley with a married couple inside, with the husband driving, the wife in the passenger seat. Their nationalities have not yet been disclosed. The FBI has officially ruled out any terrorist involvement. Joining me now for the latest, we go live to our reporter in Toronto, Canada, Michael Charbonne. Good afternoon, Michael. We spoke earlier this afternoon here on NEWSMAX. Obviously, this news at the Rainbow Bridge alarming to so many on both sides of the border. We have a heightened risk of terrorism as a result of the war in Israel. A lot of concerns here as to what might be going on. And of course, we've heard that terrorism has been ruled out. But what's the reaction been like locally?
It's alarming. Anytime a car is 30 feet in the air and crashes and explodes is alarming to anyone. And when you, as you so stated, Jen, when it happens at a border, it increases that even more. Currently, the Rainbow Bridge is still closed. I mean, if you consider that 1.5 million people use that bridge in a year to traverse Canada and the United States, that's a serious piece of infrastructure. All the other border bridges are open. Currently, they're demolishing the small kiosk from an information element that I was able to garner. So they're doing some repairs. We don't think that the bridge will be open for Black Friday. But what it does allude to is the increasing concern about the northern border. I don't know if your NEWSMAX viewers are aware, but on Tuesday, there were 20 Romanian nationals that were stopped trying to cross into New Hampshire. And what happens if the Republicans decide to deport 8 million illegal aliens? Are they all going to come to Canada? I mean, we have a 5,000-mile border with 115 contact points. And two of those Romanians, Jen, was on the U.S. terrorist list. So it's very alarming. U.S. Customs says that the border crossing from northern Canada to the United States has increased by 500%. And New Hampshire Governor Sununu called Canada a haven. So we have to be careful. And I think, there's also the Roxham Road border in Quebec where we saw many crossings, the Akwesasne Indian Reserve where there's been legitimate accusations of human smuggling, and Cornwall, the St. Lawrence. These are important factors to take into consideration. And I think, Jen, there has to be more vigilance and maybe some police investigation into making sure that this is secure.
Yeah, there's no question about it, Michael. I grew up in that part of the country. I know that northern border very well, the Swanton sector. It's a large territory there. It goes through New York, Vermont, New Hampshire. But we've been focused on the southern border, right, which has really been ground zero for Biden's border crisis. And this really raises the alarm of what's going on at the northern border. And it raises a question, Michael. I mean, are we prepared for something? We see all these Border Patrol agents going down to the southern border from the northern border to help out. Does that leave us vulnerable at this point with the lack of support up there, obviously? What are your thoughts?
Of course, it leaves both of us vulnerable. I mean, we're friends, we're partners. We have lots of commerce that goes between the two of us. The one consolation point is trying to live as an illegal immigrant on Texas streets is completely different than enduring a winter in a Canadian type of atmosphere. But I unfortunately do not believe, in my opinion, that Canada is prepared for a potential onslaught. I mean, we still have the border agreement, the third-party border agreement, where legally they're not allowed to claim asylum from one to another. But, I mean, there's lots of open space there, and I don't think Canada is prepared. And that is a bit of a concern. What happens if the Republicans get in?
Yeah, it's rural territory and very concerning, knowing so many people can obviously make their way through that part of the country, and obviously a threat for both of our nations. Michael Charbonne, thank you so much for taking time with us today.
Happy Thanksgiving, Jen, to you and your NEWSMAX watchers.
Thank you so much.